Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here coming at you again with another video, and you can see we are over on Fjordur down in Vanaheim on Ark's newest map, and you can see right now this is a area that with a ton of awesome locations. This video is going to show you 10 awesome PvP, basically unrateable or at least close to it, base locations in the underworld over on literally the newest map. It's not an easier way to say it. So you can see in the upper left corner, you'll see my coordinates for the entire video, and then on this map right here, you can kind of see the generic thing. So this is spot number 1. And basically, I just want to show you this because this is the glow cave or whatever you want to call it. And then down inside of this, you're going to be able to find yourself a ton of very useful spots. You can see glow pets spawn here. That's it. Lots of water and a big overall little entrance area. And again, it's inside of a cave, so you don't have to build walls and stuff like that. You just have to focus your defense on this front door area, which is very, very easy comparatively speaking to having to build like, a big cube style base. But also, caves are pretty much the best place to put bases. So, very small entrance, lots of room on the inside, and a good overall spot for PvP. The rest of the bases, however, in this video are going to be more of rat holes, hard to raid, ceiling bases, that kind of stuff, just so you can see that. So, hopefully this helps you out. Now, if you don't mind, smash that like button, leave a comment below, and then consider subscribing to the channel if you're checking out some of this content, because it would help out a ton. If only 10% of the people did, I'd have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and that would be awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and get on. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you. That was one of our spots, and you can see this spot right here. So a lot of these are in specific coordinates up high. So go ahead and show you this one. You can see, again, the coordinates in the upper left. There's the map. And this is a ceiling base. And why this is so dangerous is because, yeah, there's the ceiling. You can't have flyers on this map. So having a spot literally off in the corner of the world over here, basically a rat hole, means that you can have a area where people can't get to you. They would have to set up something in order to get to this, and it's very flat. Lots of room to actually have a ton of different stuff back in here. You can even drop a little bit of stuff down in there if you wanted to, and overall build on this entire section. Pretty useful, obviously, to have a section like this. And again, there's the chords for you. And just so you can see what the outside looks like, there's nothing really people could use if you kind of take over this, put some generic spawn preventing stuff on there. So there's not really a way to raid you successfully because you're on the top of the world. And that's, again, one of those base locations that's just that way. All right, so let's go ahead and check out spot number 2. So this one, again, another one of those ceiling bases. This is a little more tucked away, as you can see right now. This one is very useful because, again, you're at the edge of the world. You are completely surrounded by walls. And I'm just going to back up a little bit. This one's a little bit more exposed. However, because it's harder to get to, see how you've got that lip right there, you can actually make a pretty sustainable defense both down there and up on this ledge. And yeah, again, don't forget chords are in the upper left. And the entire thing is pretty good because you can build on multiple ledges nearby, and it's very difficult to get shot out because of it's almost like slanted uphill. You can basically shoot anything before it gets up to you. So your turrets will be able to defend your base very successfully. So you want to keep an eye out for that because that's very useful. And again, this kind of like little corner protects your base from people trying to cheese it super easily. And then the other side, you're protected by this. So pretty useful little base location to have, super valuable to have these kinds of spots. So there's another spot for you. So let's go ahead and check out spot number 3. Technically 4, I guess. But another one of those ceiling bases. I like this one a lot. The reason I like this one is it's completely hidden from the bottom. It's over a tree, so this is more of like a solo player, kind of like you hide a couple of things right up here on top of the map. Because there's no flyers, getting to this specific branch would be very difficult. You can also notice that this is the edge. So like I'm trying to move, right? I can't go past this. This is the literal edge. So you are on the edge of the map, on the ceiling of the map, with nothing nearby that can get to you. So you could build a nice little area right here. And just so you can see, you can't put this on the floor, but there are some spots that you can place it. So you can put some cliff platties up here and make a pretty badass ceiling base. So it's a very useful little spot. And it's a great little starter location to have something small because you're on, like, you can't get anywhere up to this except for that branch way over there. So pretty awesome little spot. All right, so let's go ahead and go to this one. All right, again, another one on the corner of the map, but again, you can see how flat this one is. Now, the reason I like this one a lot, all right, ceiling right there, okay? This one is around a corner. Be very difficult if you put a couple of turrets right on this edge right over here for people to actually get to your base, because this giant thing underneath is just a giant, like there's no way to get up there, and it's a ledge, so like you could maybe get someone from over there, but without flyers, this style of ledge for a large base is awesome because you can have plenty of room up here. You're at the ceiling, and there's just not much someone can do to you here. Plus, you've got these like little extra lips up here, so you can use this as an area to put some extra turrets. Or if you're like a smaller base, you could have your base style up here and your defenses down lower, and then use the cliff platform techniques to kind of like block people off. That is something that a lot of people like to do. They will use cliff platforms and just spam them all over the friggin' place. I've seen people spam them so well where you literally go like this, essentially, and there is no way for people to actually land on top of them because there are ways to trick it, so you can't actually do much. So again, just so you can see, very difficult to raid when you've got that much stuff to blow up, and like they can just put the walls out there. It's just a great spot to have. Plus the flat land, very useful without flyers. So again, make sure you try and check this one out. All right, so let's go check out spot number 6. This one's pretty close to the one we were just at. Just so you can see, it's another one on the edge of the map, and it's very similar. So you can see it right here. Now, the reason I like it is simple. Right around the corner of that, you've got this little spot. Now, what I would do personally is I would probably take a cliff platform and place it right about there. And I would place a giant chandelier style turret structure right off of this, with your like generator being flat on the ground and a bunch of turrets over here. And that way you could easily defend your base without anyone being able to really blow it up. You'd have a couple of turrets based on this, but a lot on the land. And it's very hard to take out turrets when they're not sitting on top of something else. Plus, you've got a whole bunch of room up here that you can build on this entire structure. And it's a nice little tucked away spot back in here too. There's a lot of room to be able to put stuff up in here. And again, no flyers, so raiding it would be very difficult. You've got multiple ledges should you want to use them, but you're at a high point with a nice out jutting thing right here, and you could easily put some turrets on this corner up here. And not really many people are going to be able to get to you, especially if you get some decent walls up and going. It would be very difficult to get to a base like this. So hopefully that helps you out. Now we're going to go ahead and go to the next spot, going pretty quickly through all of these, but I just want to show you some of these. Now these are the major ones that I've found. There are some smaller rat holes, but you can't really build a base in them. So this one, I like this base. Now here's the reason. This base right here is a ceiling base, a true ceiling base. Here's the ceiling. You literally have zero way to get to this base unless you fly to it. So gas bag or whatever, okay? That means you can't have a soaker, which means you can't raid this base. There is no spot that you can actually get to from anywhere unless you're straight beneath it and build a straight tower up into the sky, which you can't do once you get close enough. So there is no way to properly raid this base, which is kind of hilarious to think about. So what I would do, if I was you, get a nice little section up here, and kind of just defend it. Now you can see you can put cliff platforms on the edge of this. You just have to be careful on where you put them because you don't want people to like, just destroy everything. But putting some pillars going straight down to have like a turret tower that sits up and down, you could have a very nice little base location right here. And as a whole, it would be very difficult to raid. Again, flyers are not allowed, so having a decent structure would be very useful, and especially because you can use this tree, because you can't blow up a tree. You can use the tree for like the core of your base, and then have this being like your turret structure and like where you put some maybe your tames and stuff like that. Very difficult to raid something like this. You're above the gotcha lake too, which is very useful. So anyways, I like this spot a lot if you're playing a PvP, more for like a solo or a duo tribe, but still a very useful location. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next spot. So another one of those tree spots, right? World ceiling right here, okay? Now, this comes out of the world ceiling, so you can literally only build on this, and there's nothing near. Look at this. Nothing is nearby. Ceiling, okay? There's that. This is the only other one that comes directly out of the ceiling. So you can build on this entire thing, and if you do this properly, you can put cliff platforms on it as well. And you'll be able to get some decent like structure going. So you can get like 1, you can get 2, you can even plop one down at the very bottom down there. And you can see that you can get quite a big structure going in this area. Now there are ways to get them on this little branch. It's very difficult. I had one earlier. Don't ask me to try and mimic it again because most of this branch you can just go through. But there are spots. Oh, I thought I saw it right there. But you can put it on this branch, just very difficult to acquire it. But you can see pretty decent little spot. You can definitely build here, lots of room. And again, you're in the middle of the map. So literally there is no way to get to you without flying, which is huge in an area that you can't use flyers. So you'll have to use a gas bag or a desmodus to get up here. And gas bags lose gas as soon as they get hit by turrets and stuff. So as long as you have turrets set out, your gas bags that try and raid you aren't going to be able to do a literal thing to you. So that's, again, a very useful technique. So again, let's go ahead and go to the next spot here. And this is our top 10 spots in this zone specifically. So make sure, again, you smack that like button. But this is probably my favorite spot for this entire zone. It's not all the way to the ceiling, so that's one of the only negatives about this base. So here's the ceiling, right? You can build all the way up here. You can build on this. You can build on this. You can build over on this section right on the corner of it. But this is the edge of the map. I'm trying to go further, but I can't. So you are against the world edge, and you have access to water, which means you can raise smaller water tames. So you don't have to worry about that kind of shenanigans. Plus a ton of flat land. And again, look at, I'm against the wall. See how I'm against the wall? You can't place it on the floor there. I'm literally, that's the wall right there. You can't go into that. You got a ton of room here. So this is more of a larger size base location because you can fit quite a bit here, but you can easily build on top of these trees up here and then use the lower section for storage and stuff like that. But there's a lot of space in this general region to build, and it would be very difficult to raid. Again, you're pretty high up. You are directly above that waterfall down there. People would really have to know you're here and want to come get you. And that would be not super easy because there's lots of ledges and small things that prevent people from easily getting up here. But being able to like put your base and your main base up out on top of this bad boy up here is very nice. Plus you've got like, if you've got a large tribe, you can take over a massive amount of space, like right there. That is the, like, nothing can get to you. There's no cannons. There's no way to get in there. Plus, you've got this backup. It's a great overall base location. And again, we're edge of the world. You can see I can't run any further right there. I'm trying, but I just can't. So you can see lots of rocks, lots of resources, lots of flat land. This is probably not the best for PvP, but it's a good spot if you've got a huge tribe. Plus, no flying saves a lot of people a lot of trouble. So anyways, that is all 10 of the spots that I think are great down in Vanaheim that'll help people out for PvP purposes because of the fact that they are hard to get to. And hopefully this video is something that helps you out. And other than that, teach. Pow.